Breaking news, this just in. By the powers vested in me, I'm naming Anthony Totri the Big 12 Podcaster of the Year.
That is massive news, if true. Happy Thursday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show presented by Neutral. Keep it tasty, Tempe. Coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. I am Anthony Totri, joined as always by the runner-up for Big 12 Podcaster of the Year, Erik Ruby. We have Captain Redbeard behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. Guys, you know the drill. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. The chat is popping today. We got Jacob, we got Glenn, Rudy, Sharon, everybody. We are going to have one heck of a show. Turned into a little bit of an award show, Mr. Ruby.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I really hate to do this. I'm afraid they gave me the wrong name in the cold open. The wrong name. The Big 12 Podcaster of the Year award actually goes to Mike Luke.
I'm done.
I know, it's shocking.
I'm out.
It's shocking.
That's unbelievable. I mean,
shocking news.
I want to recount. I absolutely want to recount for that. No, Mike does some phenomenal stuff. The Big 12 Podcaster of the Year?
Yeah, that's what the people are saying. I read the wrong name out of the envelope. I'm sorry. It happens to the best of us.
It is what it is. Dimitri in here, Short Bus, Chris, BC. Guys, Arizona State cleaning up when it comes to those Big 12 yearly honors. But
maybe they should have cleaned up a little more.
Maybe they should have cleaned up a little bit more. We're going to get into that. We're going to get to the awards that they did win. We're getting into first team, second team, honorable mention. Also, we've got the rooting guide for all Arizona State fans at the tail end of today's show. So definitely stick around for that. Megan saying it happened to Steve Harvey too. I feel like I'm true. Steve Harvey in this.
With the mustache?
Yeah, I feel like I'm the Steve Harvey of this podcast.
I think we are combined Steve Harvey. You have the mustache. I have the name announcing abilities.
Of Steve Harvey?
Of Steve Harvey.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yes.
Sharon says I was robbed for the award. I mean, you know what it is, what it is. We're going to get back to the grind, and we're on to 2025.
Show me a recount.
There you go.
I'm sorry, that's not on the board.
That's tough. That is tough. Do you want to start with the awards that they did win?
I feel like hate is what really grabs people. So I feel like
you
we should start with the award.
You want to hate?
Okay, but it's... Congrats to everybody. We'll get to you in a second. Cam Skattebo should have been Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year.
Do what you got. Say what you got to say. Say it with your chest.
Listen, Shedeur Sanders had a fantastic season.
He did.
Great season for him. He should be a high pick in the draft. You know, Colorado shocked the world. Congrats. Cam Skattebo was the best offensive player in the Big 12 and a top offensive player in the country as well. I mean, did Shedeur win more offensive player of the weeks than Cam Skattebo?
No, nobody did.
Then what are we doing here? What are we doing here? You don't award the player who won Offensive Player of the Week the most times over the span of your season as the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. Either you were wrong during the season or you're wrong now. And I have a feeling I know which one it is. You're wrong now.
Yeah. I mean, look. Before I give my thoughts on it, Shedeur Sanders, I mean, tip of the cap.
Great season.
Congratulations on the award. Almost 4,000 passing yards, which is pretty ridiculous for a college quarterback. 35 touchdowns through the air, 8 INTs, a QBR of 78.1. That is good for 17th in the country. But Cam Skattebo on the ground, nearly 1,400 rush yards while missing a game. Had 17 rushing touchdowns, 468 receiving yards. That is the second most on the Arizona State roster. Also had 2 receiving touchdowns. as well. I agree with you. I think Cam Skattebo should have been Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. Again, that's not disrespect to Shedeur. I think Shedeur had a great season, but again, like you said, nobody won Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week more times than Cam Skattebo this season. If we're talking about what an individual player meant to the offense, then I get it. Then I understand why Shedeur Sanders was Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. But then something needs to change in terms of just the meaning of the award. Like if you have a conference MVP, I'm cool with that. If you have a Big 12 MVP, then I think, sure, give it to Shedeur Sanders. But when it comes to what Cam Skattebo did on a weekly basis for this team, he was irreplaceable, right? This is a guy that, again, among some of the best players in all of college football, and I know Shedeur is too, but the Big 12 is a running back conference. Taj Brooks, RJ Harvey, Cam Skattebo, Devin Neal, Ollie Gordon.
The ghost of Ollie Gordon.
The ghost of Ollie Gordon. Like, this is a conference that, yes, there were playmakers all over the field offensively, defensively, but each and every team just about had a phenomenal running back. That's what headlined this conference. And to be the running back, right? The running back on a team playing in a conference championship, the running back that won Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week the most times out of anybody, the running back who is one of the nation's favorites at this point, to not get Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year
I would have been fine with co-offensive player of the year.
I would have too. I would have been fine with that too. I think that's fair too. I think that is fair too.
My argument is not anti-Shedeur. And yeah, I hate Colorado. I get it. And I think if we played Colorado, I think we beat Colorado. And there's a chance that we do play Colorado. It's not an anti-Shedeur argument. And I get it. You know, we spent the whole summer on anti-Colorado, anti-Shedeur. I get, but the facts are the facts. The good team, good quarterback, right? Like, I'm not going to just ignore that. It has nothing to do with him being bad.
No, absolutely not. Shedeur, like I said, Shedeur had a great season.
He had a season worthy of Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year.
Yes, he did.
Cam Skattebo had a season worthy of Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. Scat has the most Offensive Player of the Weeks.
Yeah.
Also, I would say Scat. Would you say that ASU played a harder schedule than Colorado?
I don't know off the top of my head who Colorado played, but I can tell you what, Arizona State
was... toughest games were Nebraska, Kansas State.
I mean, Cam Skattebo was the best player on a team playing in a championship game.
Agreed. You were not going to get any argument from me. They beat North Dakota State. They lost to Nebraska. They played Colorado State, Baylor, UCF. They lost to Kansas State, which we didn't. Arizona, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State. So we played a pretty similar schedule, but ASU has a BYU in there, which is a ranked team that Colorado doesn't have, right? And when Colorado beat Utah, they were not ranked at the time either. And the common opponent that we have that we beat is Kansas State, and they lost to Kansas State.
I looked, and there are a lot of Colorado fans, which I will say, in terms of like Kenny, right? Kenny winning the award over Prime, have been really, really gracious about it. And like they agree. They think, you know what? Kenny had a phenomenal season. Glad he won. I would have, like you said, been totally fine with co-offensive player of the year, but I this is a popularity contest at the end of the day.
Yeah, to give something to Colorado.
It is. I believe coaches vote on these, and at like quarterbacks are always going to have an edge over any other player. Again, I don't want to take anything away from Shedeur because I think he had a great season, but Cam Skattebo definitely deserves to be in that conversation. I believe if I read everything correctly, I believe he was second.
I mean, he should be. You have to give, I guess, something to Colorado at a certain point. And maybe the fact that this is such a running back heavy conference with a lot of talented backs, right? You're talking about Taj Brooks and Devin Neal, like not making your all Big 12 first team. Yeah. Right? Maybe because there's so many more running backs, a top of the top quarterback stands out a little bit more. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's what was in their mind. It is what it is. But you know what, man? You know what? Who cares at this point?
It's just more fuel to the fire.
I'm going to complain. I'm not going to like it. Hopefully, Scat runs through Iowa State for 16 touchdowns on Saturday. But let's talk about the good things.
We could talk about the good things. Before we talk about the good things,
okay,
I tweeted
this
clip out.
Let's go back to the negativity.
Well, yeah. For a second. I tweeted out this clip earlier today because it's like, okay, Cam Skattebo didn't get any like major award, right? He made Big 12, all Big 12 first team, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But there are still people, Erik, there are people that are talking about this championship game that still don't have the common decency to even figure out how to pronounce Cam Skattebo's name correctly. I saw this clip this morning and I just had to make sure everybody else saw it, including Cam Skattebo, so he understands the level of disrespect that is still being spewed out there into the Twitterverse.
But what was the running back for Iowa State?
Is that
Not for Iowa. What's the guy for Arizona State, the running back?
So Cam Skibbity or
Cam Skittebo. Great. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
There it is.
You're going to learn how to say his name on Saturday.
Just so everybody knows, the guy on the left there, I'm currently DMing him, asking him if he would like to come on the show and talk about the game. Just so everybody's aware.
You're going to learn how to say Cam Skattebo's name.
You are going to learn Cam Skattebo, buddy.
Yeah, get ready to learn Cam Skattebo,
Get ready to learn Heisman, buddy.
Just ridiculous that we're at this point and people are still, whether it's memeing or whatever, like, come on, dude. This guy is a top 3 running back in the country. He's a top 10 player in the Heisman race. It's ridiculous at this point. So more fuel to the fire at that point. But look, I would say outside of what I guess occurred this morning with Scat and the awards, overall, Arizona State did clean up when it came to the Big 12 yearly awards, starting with Kenny Dillingham. Kenny Dillingham named Big 12 Coach of the Year, just his second season as a head coach in college football. And again, beat Coach Prime to get that award. Rightfully so, Erik. Kenny Dillingham's the Big 12 Coach of the Year.
Yeah, this is the biggest layup of a lifetime.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Because as doubted as Colorado was, right, they were still picked higher in the polls and they finished lower at the end of the season. Right? Kenny's literally a last to first, 16-1. Like, it is not something that ever happens in this sport.
Very rarely,
you have these turnarounds where you go from really bad to good, right? But you rarely have really bad to great. And that is an absolute testament to everything that Kenny Dillingham has been building. We've been talking about it forever at this point, but it never gets tired. It never gets old. It's not like you're just beating a horse. It's all the same talking point over. It's still fresh and new because you're seeing all the different fruits of his labor come out there. And there is absolutely nobody on planet Earth who deserved an award like this more than Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, and this is honestly just the tip of the iceberg. Kenny Dillingham, in my opinion, deserves to be the National Coach of the Year as well. The biggest turnaround in Arizona State program history, from 3-9 last year in the Pac-12 to joining a new conference this year and having a 10-2 season in just a couple days away from playing for the Big 12 championship game, potentially a college football playoff berth. I think if Arizona State wins on Saturday, I think that cements Kenny Dillingham as National Coach of the Year, in my personal opinion.
He's knocking on the door already.
Even if they don't win, I think Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham deserve that award based off of what has occurred so far this season, because he's done a phenomenal job, not just coaching, but really building this program, getting the Valley bought in, which again is not something that national media is going to take a look at or take into consideration when it comes to this award. But when you want to talk about tearing down a program and building it back up brick by brick, that is what Kenny has done in just 2 very, very short years.
Point to another coach that has done more than Kenny Dillingham. As far as like done more, I guess I hesitated to say the term with less, because you've seen just how right they've been on taking gambles on talent and how much better the athletic department has been when it comes to infrastructure and money and NIL and everything like that. So I don't want to say did more with less, but if you talked about it, did more with less in the way that everybody expected them to be less.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody walked in this season with lower expectations and brought them to a higher point in the country than Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah.
Tell me, chat, I know everybody in here agrees with me, but if you can find somebody that's even remotely close, it's Dion. That's the closest. But Dion had so much more.
That's the closest. Yeah.
So much more to work with.
Yeah.
2 Heisman candidates, right?
Don't even get me started.
Going into the season.
Yeah.
You think Dion had the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, you know?
He did.
And the Defensive Player of the Year.
He did.
Tell me somebody who did more with less. You can't.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Now, look, Kenny didn't have any slouches when it came to some of these positions.
No.
Kenny had the luxury of working with the offensive freshman of the year and quarterback Sam Leavitt, just a year after riding the bench at Michigan State to, like I said yesterday, being a top 10 quarterback in college football, and just being an absolute dog all season long. This team is 10-2 playing for a Big 12 title. This team is 10-1 when Sam Leavitt plays.
Yep.
Like, Sam Leavitt's lost one game all year as a starter.
Yeah. On the road in Lubbock.
His first conference road game.
And if you remember, the ASU's defense was very depleted.
It was.
And yeah, Leavitt made some mistakes. It was not one of his best games, but there were a lot of mistakes that game that got in their way. And it wasn't like Leavitt just pooped the bed and that's why they lost. Like he's not had
He deserves
a
this award.
terrible game. No. And you mentioned that Kenny doesn't have a roster full of slouches, right? And we'll go through the first team and the second team and of course another player of the year award for an ASU player. But tell me, out of Sam Leavitt, Jordyn Tyson, and even Cam Skattebo, how many of them were, really in contention for these awards before the season? It was just Cam Skattebo.
There was not a single Arizona State Sun Devil on the all Big 12 preseason first team.
No. And that means very clearly not on offensive freshman of the year, offensive newcomer of the year.
Nope.
And so you give credit to the players. A massive majority of the credit to Sam Leavitt. Bars. But Kenny absolutely had his fingerprints all over that. And
Marcus Arroyo, too.
And Marcus Arroyo, too. I mean, Sam's a Heisman candidate next year. I don't think there's any mincing words about that. He is absolutely a Heisman candidate next year.
That's wild. Think about this.
Top
for a
10
second.
quarterback in college football right now.
Think about this. If let's say, and we're shout out La La Land because that's where we're headed.
Okay, hold up. We completely missed.
It's Sharon's birthday.
It's Captain Redbeard's birthday.
No, it's not. Is it really Captain
and
Redbeard's
Sharon's
birthday? You didn't say anything, Captain Redbeard. Why are you working today?
Why is he working? Because he loves the grind. That's why.
Okay, well, we're singing him happy birthday. We're singing
What,
him
right
happy-
now?
Right now.
Okay.
I don't care.
3, 2, but both of them, Kyle and Sharon.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kyle
Captain
and
Redbeard and
Sharon. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Everybody, leave a like for Captain Redbeard and for Sharon.
Drop the little celebrate button.
Yeah.
Celebrate emoji.
We need to have confetti or something.
I know. Dang. That means Captain Redbeard, we're getting you hammered at the airport before we leave tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what we're doing, 100%.
Vodka shots at 4 a.m. Just for Redbeard.
Just for Redbeard. Yeah,
Yeah,
take
no,
one
not
for
me.
all of
That
us.
would be
He could take
ridiculous.
one for all of
That'd
us.
be ridiculous.
That's fair.
A real shaky vlog.
Yeah, it would be. Where were we?
Singing happy birthday. No, we were talking about Sam Leavitt being a Heisman candidate.
Yeah, I don't remember where I was going from
Well,
there.
Sam Leavitt's a top 10 quarterback
He
in
is
the
a top
country
10
right
quarterback
now.
in the country. Yeah. Oh, I remember. If Sam Leavitt, let's play in La La Land. Let's say Sam Leavitt is let's say Arizona State replicates what they did. Let's say Sam Leavitt wins a Heisman next year. Okay. In the last 5 years, Arizona State will have had technically 2 Heisman quarterbacks.
I guess technically. Technically, yes.
Think about that. That's crazy. QB, are we QBU?
Yeah.
Like, is this?
I mean, you also got Manny Wilkins, Blake Barnett.
Okay. So Jordyn Tyson's, he's getting some awards and some love too. Jordyn Tyson, offensive newcomer of the year. Again, it's a big shame that you're not going to see him and Sam Leavitt together in that Big 12 championship game. Obviously, Jordyn Tyson out for the season, had surgery the other day. But Jordyn Tyson, especially in the last month and change, what he's been able to do, just the last 3 games, Erik, nearly 30 catches, 444 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. Doing it on the road, doing it at home, doing it against ranked opponents, doing it against unranked opponents. It hasn't mattered the last month. Jordyn Tyson has been the best wide receiver in college football over the last 30 days, and you can't even argue that with me right now.
Okay, I won't.
Good. I'm glad.
He's cold.
Yeah.
He's very good.
He's disgusting.
He is an NFL wide receiver. The size is a little
He's 6'1".
He's 6'1". I meant like frame. Wise.
Give him another summer.
No, that's what I'm saying. Give him another summer. I was going to say healthy. Hopefully he's healthy by spring ball and he can have an entire summer weight training and everything like that. This dude, Leavitt to Tyson, is going to be already is the best connection in the Big 12.
Yes.
At least over the end of the last half of the season. Will be one of the premier 1-2 punches in all of college football next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every conference.
If you're able to keep both of them, which I think this team and this staff can do, then yeah, Arizona State is going to have the best connection in college football from quarterback to wide receiver. You are going to have a potential Heisman level candidate. You're going to have a Biletnikoff Award candidate in Jordyn Tyson.
Yep.
You're going to be in the AP preseason top 25. Like this team going into next year with the talent that you're going to be able to retain, they're going to be a highly respected team based off of the talent that they return in Tyson and Leavitt. And Tyson's done a phenomenal job. Yeah, Ben Coleman, Shimon Mateer, Justin Watley, Javen Robinson, Xavier Alford.
And these are just the players that have said it now. And this is where, and this is a little bit off topic, I know we have to hit a break, but this is where recruiting people who truly want to be here matters. Because when you start winning, you get to keep those players.
Yeah.
Which would be nice.
You're 100% correct. But again, Jordyn Tyson, whether that be a numbers thing, I think you can also give him that award based on the development that we've seen from week 1 to right now. Going from, certain games where the chemistry was maybe not all there between him and Sam to the point now where it felt like Jordyn Tyson was good for 8 catches and 100 yards every single game. His run blocking has been phenomenal all season long. Credit to Hines Ward, obviously the wide receivers coach at Arizona State.
Credit to Tyson too, because you can be coached and told to do it all you want. You got to actually get down and dirty and physical. And not a lot of players, not a lot of skill position players, just in general, not on this team, but just in general, don't like getting down and dirty like that. And aren't that good at it either.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to be good at. It's a really tough thing to be good at. And he's been good at just about everything so far this season. Look, we are going to get to first team, second team, and honorable mention. We've also got the rooting guide for Arizona State fans over the weekend. But before we get to all of that, like Erik said, we are going to take just a quick break.
We are not driving to Dallas, thankfully. That'd be a long drive. But if we were, there is no car I'd rather be in than a Sanderson Ford, specifically with Totri driving a Ford Bronco. Because that car,
dreams are made of.
That car is meant for you.
Yeah.
Just like Sanderson Ford was meant for Arizona. 70 years in Glendale, and they're thankful for their 500 employees who take care of their customers, making Sanderson Ford America's most awarded Ford dealership. And they're thankful for everybody so much, and without your support, they wouldn't be able to give back and support our community with events like Operation Santa Claus. And if you don't know about Sanderson Ford, they hit every single point, whether it's their 65-acre facility, the largest Ford dealership in the nation, whether it's the museum, whether it's the diner they have there, whether it's the fantastic customer service who are there to get you in the right vehicle. Plus, they got good deals as well. Get a new 2024 F-150 truck with 3.9 APR financing for 66 months, plus up to $4,000 cash back with similar savings on over 900 new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot. Plus, get an additional $1,000 Amazon gift card on Bronco, Monkey, Lightning, F-150, and Expeditions on Black Friday, Saturday, and Monday. That is in the past, but it's still a good place to shop. Sanderson Ford.
Christmas is right around the corner, Mr. Ruby.
It is.
Can I tell you what I'm going to get you?
No.
Well, I'm going to tell you anyways.
Okay.
I'm going to get you a brand spanking new Arizona State branded Bills hat.
I think I already have every single one. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to get you another one.
No, that's fair. I would take it because Brandon Bills is just so nice.
Dude, they're comfy. Like, yes, they're nice. Yes, they're affordable. But for me, they're comfy. I don't know about you, but I've got hats that are like too tight or they're too big. Does not matter when it comes to branded Bills. It's the perfect headwear and apparel. Whether you need snapbacks, fitteds, beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered with performance, style, and like I said, with comfort as well. They've got partnerships with Arizona State, and of course, they do some charity with U of A as a part of their campus collection. Head to brandedbills.com and make sure you use that code PHNX for 20% off your first order. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you made it to this point and you haven't done it yet, leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Dallas in the chat, not even considering the transfers that will undoubtedly be incoming for those Arizona State Sun Devils. I mean, who wouldn't want to play alongside Jordyn Tyson? Who wouldn't want to catch passes from Sam Leavitt? Who wouldn't want to be coached by the Big 12 Coach of the Year?
Yeah, who wouldn't want to live in Tempe.
No, that's valid.
It's always been with Arizona State. You just talk about like, oh, it's a good location and it's a good school and kids love being there. But do they want to go there to win, right? Or are they just going there to like party? No, you go here to win now.
To win chips.
And to party.
You win here to win
After
chips.
you win.
Win chips. Go watch a conference-leading volleyball team. Go watch a conference-leading basketball team.
Go watch
in the
a
Arizona State
really
Sun
good
Devils.
hockey team.
Go watch a good hockey team. And do it all while it's 70 degrees outside, huh?
That sounds pretty nice to me.
I mean, you could also be on the podcast, too. That's honestly top
Depends
tier.
on who.
That's
Depends
top
on
tier
who.
number one. That's top tier number one. Depends on who.
Yeah, it depends on who.
Is there somebody that would transfer here that you
No,
like,
I'm just kidding.
You'd be
Everybody
like,
go.
no, you cannot be on the podcast.
Open invite to all transfers.
There you go. You want to get into the first team, second team, and honorable mention?
Let's do it.
Well, like I said to start the show, preseason, there was not a single Arizona State Sun Devil on the all Big 12 preseason team, first team. Not a single one. And here we are, just a few days away from the Big 12 title game where your Arizona State Sun Devils are going to take on Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
Your first team, Cam Skattebo,
Check.
Jordyn Tyson,
Check.
Leavitt,
Check.
and Xavier Alford.
That's weird. I count 4 at the end of the season, but 0 at the beginning of the season.
4 at prime positions, at running back, at wide receiver, center, and safety.
Yeah. Running back, the most stacked position in the conference.
Over Taj Brooks, over RJ Harvey, over Devin Neal, over Corey Kiner, over the ghost of Ollie Gordon. Just remarkable for Cam Skattebo, Jordyn Tyson to do it as well at that wide receiver position when there are some really talented wide receivers in this conference.
Brennan Presley obviously makes it over Travis Hunter.
Totri McMillan.
T-Mac makes it.
Yeah.
Right. They're both in that first team. But yeah, again, none of this was expected. And you end up nearly. Was there any team that had more?
You'd have to do some digging. Do some digging on that. But we've already talked Scat and Tyson. Want to show some love for Leavitt, who we said going into this season, there is definitely a podcast, 100%, where we said that Leavitt should have been first team preseason.
Might have been when we had him on the show.
And here he is, the best center in the Big 12, the quarterback of that offensive line. The offensive line as a whole, I think, has been a real bright spot for the Arizona State Sun Devils in 2024. So for Leaf to get that kind of credit on his way out, obviously had eligibility after this season, I think is absolutely huge. And then Xavier Alford, who's been such a vocal leader on the back end of this defense and really in the locker room as a whole. After everything that Xavier Alford has been through over the last couple seasons, didn't get a play last year because of the NCAA waiver situation, took it on the chin and found a way to find the field again here in 2024. And he has been an absolute legend in the secondary for Arizona State.
Yeah, he's been massive. I'm doing some quick math right now.
Is the math mathin'?
Looks like offensively, I don't see any other school with 3 players. BYU has 2, Colorado has 2.
Cincinnati has 2.
Cincinnati has 2. Utah has 2. Kansas has 1. Iowa State has 1. UCF has 1. Baylor has 1. Yeah. Arizona State, at least on offense, has more first-team players
Than anyone.
than anybody. That's 3 of them. And
Just
then,
like we all thought.
obviously, on defense, it's only X. So there are more
For the
players.
first team.
For the first team. Kansas has 2 in the first team. Baylor has 2 in the first team. Baylor has 3, actually.
On defense?
Including their punter.
Who's got the kicker? Is it Tyler Loop? Is it U of A's kicker? Because it should be.
Oh, that's kick return punting. PK.
Do they not have
Will
a kicker?
Fair and BYU.
Will Farron, BYU's kicker, huh?
Punter kicker, yeah.
How much eligibility? Redshirt junior.
Yeah.
Come
Welcome
on
to Tempe.
down.
Welcome to Tempe.
Come on down.
Big 12
Will
first
Farron.
team.
Want to be an Arizona
Will
State Sun Devil?
Farron.
We could use it.
You know, honestly,
I heard there's room on the plane for one more player
one more.
for the Big 12 title game.
How great would that be if you could just take a player once you beat the team?
Is that who you'd take?
I would take Tyler Loop.
Ooh, I don't know.
I would take Tyler.
I think
Loop.
I would take T-Mac.
No, Tyler Loop just for the. No, I would take Tyler. Well, I guess, yeah, because we don't have Jordyn Tyson.
Yeah,
I would take T-Mac. Yeah.
That would be. What could have been, huh?
What could have been?
What could have been? T-Mac on one
come
side,
home,
Jordyn
Tetaroa.
Tyson on the other.
That's an NFL wide receiver room right there. That's not a college football wide receiver room.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. Any words for Leaf and
For
X?
for Leaf, so much of the success in Arizona State's season has been through the small details and has been through the trenches, and he's been the leader in that. The center is the quarterback of the offensive line.
Yeah.
This offensive line has just been fantastic, giving Scat room to run, giving Leavitt room to roll out and to throw as well.
Some time, too.
And we'll give credit to some more players on that line, but everything starts and ends with Leaf. And he had high expectations for this team. A lot was on his shoulders coming into the season, and he handled it beautifully. He played awesome. And you want to know the best way that you could tell that a center is playing really good? You don't hear their name that often.
Yeah.
Right. The more you hear an offensive lineman's name, the more likely they are to be bad.
Yeah.
Because it means they're making mistakes or they're getting dominated, right? He was taking care of business, obviously, in a great way. And then for X, he set the tone from the very first game.
From the jump.
From the very first game, not just in his play on the field, but off the field. I would say he's first team Big 12 all hype as well.
Yeah, he's 101.
And for
100-yard landlord, baby.
Yeah, for him to do that, coming off of the extended absence he had from the game, and you know how much it's got to weigh on somebody, like those expectations to come in and to play at a first team level and to deserve that as well. He is a massive success story for himself, but also for this program. Both very well deserved first team selections.
I'm gonna go find the show that we did when these preseason ones came out, because I'm pretty positive that we said that X and Scat and Tyson and Leaf honestly should have been considered for these teams. I'm gonna go find it. I'm gonna go find it because I would guarantee.
I know we at least guaranteed Leaf.
I said X too. I said X. We'll find it.
I'm just Mr. Researcher right now.
You're doing it now, but there's no way that you're going to be able to go watch it while we're doing this show.
No.
So we'll figure it out post. But those four on the first team are not the only Sun Devils that found themselves on an all-conference team. The second team includes Sam Leavitt, your Big 12 offensive freshman of the year. Mm-hmm. Shimon Matire.
Big.
At tight end.
It's a big one.
CJ Fight, defensive tackle, and then Keyshawn Elliott at linebacker. We talked about Sam, just been phenomenal. Again, can you check? I think there's only one. Is there one quarterback per team, or is there two?
I think so. Let me.
Because Shedeur got first team.
Yeah, I think it's just one.
So
I think I remember seeing the graphic.
Shedeur at one.
Now. Yeah, Shedeur only one quarterback, and then second team
Sam Leavitt.
Second best quarterback in the conference with the top 10.
That's awesome.
With the top 10 quarterback.
A redshirt freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
Your Arizona State redshirt freshman quarterback.
It's the second best in the conference.
Yeah.
Behind a top 10 NFL pick.
Yeah.
Right? He's a Heisman candidate next year, one of the top 10 in college football right now. That is not listen, I know that we were high on this team coming into the season.
Dude, I was cannabis high on this team.
We were not this high, though.
I was
You weren't high enough. We weren't high enough.
I said this team was 8-4. That's what I said. I said 8-4 for my you
didn't.
My
you said 5 to 7
No.
wins.
I said best case scenario. That best case scenario show. I said this team was 8-4.
Funny enough, I think all of your best and worst case scenarios didn't happen except for ASU.
I think they actually, yeah. Where's what's that running back?
Is his last name Cox?
I think Cook. Cook.
Cam Cook?
Yeah, maybe. Look, what kind of year did Cam Cook have? Cam Cook, TCU running back. Did he do anything? Running back. 460 yards, 9 touchdowns, 119 carries. That's actually not bad at all. For somebody who did not do anything before, 16 carries, 58 yards before. Devil fan 1976 in the chat. No Shamari Simmons. Yeah, that's one thing that I noticed when I went through these. We'll get to honorable mention here in a second, but he's not even on the honorable mention list. No Shamari Simmons.
It's interesting
for Arizona State.
Arizona State's secondary in general has been a little up and down.
Yeah, but Shamari's been pretty solid.
No, Shamari's been really. This is not me saying that Shamari doesn't deserve it. It's just more. Well, they did get certain things right, but they got the obvious things right. I think there are still parts of this team that people discredit. They're not watching. They just kind of assume. I would say Shamari is one of the unsung heroes of this team. I think you could watch a game and he wouldn't be one of the top 5 to 7 players that stood out to you overall in the game. If you just watch the game,
I think he would be.
I think in certain games he has been. But I think if you watch Cam Skattebo, Jordyn Tyson, Sam Leavitt, right? I not that I get it. I understand how they would overlook him. I wouldn't. I think he deserves it clearly.
Yeah. Yeah. Dimitri in the chat. What happened with Kamari Wilson this year? Former 5-star. Assume he'll be back. Haven't heard anything on Kamari Wilson's status at that safety position, if he's coming back or not. That safety room has just been loaded, right? Obviously, they moved Shamari down from safety to nickel after Cole got hurt, and he was still kind of mixing in there while Cole was still playing. But that safety room with Xavier Alford and Miles Rouser is just, those two guys fly around the field. And thankfully, both of them have been pretty healthy all season long. So you haven't necessarily needed to turn to some of those safeties. They don't rotate in as much as I thought that they would rotate this season, but the linebackers sure do. And Keyshawn Elliott, second team, he has been a very, very nice addition to this Arizona State defense, transferring over from New Mexico State. It's between him, CJ Fight on that defense as well. CJ Fight, a true sophomore, making Big 12 second team as a defensive tackle. And then, like you said, Shimon Mateer, just the way that he's come on this season at that tight end position, I don't think a ton of people thought that he was going to be that security blanket.
I don't think we talked about him that much in the preseason.
No, I don't think so either.
Even when we talked about the tight end room, I don't think Shimon's name really came up that often. And that's a really big testament to this coaching staff for knowing how to utilize him, and him for being very solid. There were a couple drop passes this year, but overall just been really, really, really strong. And before we get to the honorable mentions, just to keep us on time, I know I'm party killer Rubis.
Mr. Breakman.
Well, Mr. Breakman says...
You're a break boy.
Break boy says it's time for a quick break.
I've got a few words for you. 4 words to be exact.
Hit me.
Keep it tasty, Tempe.
Those are good words.
When I say those 4 words, do you know what I'm talking about, Senor Rubis?
Oh, I know. You just happened to ask me while I was drinking water.
I know. I'm talking about neutral. Guys, this is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers, and even for people that don't like hard seltzers like me. I'm not a giant fan of hard seltzers, but my opinion totally went out the window when I tried neutral vodka seltzer. It's made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. It doesn't even really taste like a traditional seltzer.
It's so good.
Like, you can find some that are maybe a little bit too on the juicy side, or too that are maybe too many bubbles. This is like the perfect balance. It's the perfect seltzer, especially if you like vodka. They got a variety of flavors, including pineapple, watermelon, black cherry, orange, and more. My favorite, of course, the cran apple. Give it a shot. Neutral. Keep it tasty. Enjoy responsibly. 2024 Anheuser-Busch Neutral flavored vodka and carbonation, St. Louis, Missouri.
We are blessed. We are lucky that we are going to be able to be boots on the ground in Dallas this upcoming Saturday for the Big 12 Championship. But if you are not, that is okay. You can still be a part of the Sun Devil community right here in Arizona at Gila River Casino's Wild Horse Pass. We are doing a watch party. Get there at 9:30 in the morning at Wild Horse Pass. Free neutrals, because it's presented by Neutral. And of course, Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Nobody does it better. Be there on Saturday. By the way, we also have a Suns watch party that night. You can make a whole day out of it. Go in the morning, watch Arizona State win the Big 12 championship, play on their state-of-the-art gaming floor, maybe go kick it by the pool, maybe book a hotel room, make a weekend out of it, because Gila River has so many different ways for you to enjoy them. And right now, you can also enter to win an Arizona Cardinals game day VIP experience. Winners will enjoy 2 tickets to the San Francisco 49ers at Arizona Cardinals game in January, plus on-field experience, lunch at Morgan Athletic Club, meet and greet, and of course, a VIP stadium parking as well, plus a 2-night stay at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, V Cueva, and more. Enter for free at playatgila.com/Cardinals, and you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
I just feel like I needed to get that out.
Why?
I don't know. So just the voices, you know?
They were telling you to scream?
They're just, well, that wasn't much of a scream. That was just kind of a, yeah. See, you get it. 100%.
Oh, I get it.
Do you?
Oh, I get it.
Do you want to let one out? Yeah. Captain Redbeard, do you want to?
Yeah. Hit him with the birthday scream, Captain Redbeard.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. No,
on brand.
Yeah. No, that was on brand, 100%. Do you want to get to the honorable mentions?
Yeah.
Honorable mentions. Ben Coleman, Caleb McCullough, Miles Rouser.
How about Caleb McCullough?
What a year for this kid.
Coming off the bench.
And
ends the season an honorable mention for all Big 12.
He was the best player for this Arizona State defense in what game was it? Kansas? That Keyshawn missed the first half or something? There was a game where Caleb McCullough had 2 interceptions. It might have been the Utah game.
I think it was.
I think it was Utah. Where he had 2 interceptions, And at one point after that game was like tied for second for most interceptions.
It was Utah because first of all, he had 12 tackles, 2 interceptions off of, the ghost of Cam Rising.
Yeah.
Right. But
a lot of ghosts. In the Big 12
ghost of Ollie
year.
Gordon, ghost of Cam Rising.
They should have an all-ghost team.
Alan Bowman is as old as a ghost.
Yeah, he's coming back next year.
Get
apparently.
a job.
What is it, year 8 or 9?
8.
That's unbelievable.
Get Alan Bowman. It is the most perfect, like Alan Bowman and Associates. There, you're welcome. That's your business name. Get out of college
Alan
football.
Bowman and Associates.
You are trash.
Whoa.
Over.
He's so old.
Indeed.com.
I kind of look like Alan Bowman with his
Get a
mustache.
job. I don't. You know what, Totri? I'm all for like disrespect. Especially if it's coming your way. You don't look like Adam Bowman. Sorry, I looked at
Alan Bowman.
You definitely don't look like whoever this guy is. You do not look like Alan Bowman.
That guy looks like if me and Ed Sheeran had a baby.
Sure.
That's Alan Bowman. That is 100% Alan Bowman.
Bro, Alan Bowman has been in college since I was in college.
Yeah. And you're just a wee lad.
And I'm 45.
Yeah. If you're 45, you look great for 45.
I know, thank you.
Congratulations.
Get a job.
Yeah. Caleb McCullough, phenomenal year. Let's talk about Ben Coleman. Ben Coleman coming back next year.
Yes.
An offensive guard for Arizona State. Again, somebody that dealt with injury last season, so didn't necessarily play a ton of games. Been a staple right alongside Leaf all season long. You talk about why Cam Skattebo has been able to have such a phenomenal season, and a real big part of it is because of those big boys up front. Ben Coleman being one of them. Transferred here from Cal, had a lot of playing experience, and he has been so solid at that guard spot, which it's a tough thing to do, to be, again, in the interior of an offensive line, dealing with just some of the giants that you have to see on a weekly basis in this conference. He's done it while, being pretty healthy all season long. We didn't really mention that when it came to Leaf. Like, part of being a really great player is being available, and Ben Coleman and Leaf Autaunu have been available more often than not for Arizona State.
Same thing I mentioned with Leaf. A good testament to your offensive line in general, but even individually, is, are you talking about them that often?
Yeah. Are you healthy?
The less that you talk about your offensive line, the better they are. The peak of offensive line, like, analysis for a good team is, man, they dominated in the trenches today.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we said more often than not. And, there are certain teams like Oklahoma State, the get a job capital of the world, that had an entire
get a job capital of a world.
They had an entire offensive line full of returning seniors, and they sucked.
Dude, that is crazy. They had the oldest offensive line, I think, in college football history.
And they sucked.
And they didn't win a game in the Big 12.
They were terrible.
They were awful.
But I use that to paint a point where
they fired everybody yesterday.
Yes, they should. This offensive line having some sort of continuity of good players, experienced players, is massive. Ben Coleman is going to be a really big part of Arizona State's success next year.
He's a great podcaster. We've had him on the show before.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal personality.
He was on Spaces, Sun Devil Spaces last night with Ralph. I believe Graham Rossini was as well.
Nice.
If you don't know, Ralph does live Twitter Spaces. They're also recorded. Check out Ralph. He was on the show earlier this week at Ralph Amsden. Make sure you go and check all that out. That's always a really good time. Sometimes we pop in there as well.
Chad in the chat says, I heard today that Rising is considering coming back to Utah for another year and needs to get a job. There's no way.
You know what?
There's no way.
You know what?
There's
Alan Bowman, Cam Rising, y'all suck.
Cam Rising should
welcome
transfer.
back.
Cam Rising should transfer at this point.
No, welcome back, dude. Welcome back.
Brent Sorsby's
play
coming
for
back
Utah.
to Cincinnati, by the way. That's a big one.
That is a big one. Play for Oklahoma State. Play and be trash again so that we can just run up on you. Caleb McCullough is licking his chops. Cam Rising, please come back so you can hobble around for like 8 games and then sit the rest.
Well, Caleb McCullough is not licking his chops because he's out of eligibility.
Oh, that's right.
So,
I thought he was younger.
Yeah, I did too. To be honest with you. I thought he was younger.
I thought he was like, he had like 2 years of eligibility left.
No, I don't think he can come back. But Miles Rouser,
maybe
I
just for that
can.
game. You know what? If Cam Rising and Alan Bowman can come back, everybody on this
Everybody
dang
gets
team
more
can come.
eligibility.
Cam Skattebo can come back if Alan Bowman can come back. This is ridiculous.
I would give a foot. I would give up my left foot.
Would you actually? Like, legitimately, if I said I have a saw right here and I'll cut your left foot off, but Cam Skattebo can play for Arizona State another season.
Am I allowed to get a prosthetic?
Yeah.
Is it paid for?
Sure.
Yes.
It's interesting.
I don't use my left foot that often.
Well,
would you?
Do you walk?
Yeah, but I got a prosthetic.
I draw the
for
line.
Another year of
I
Cam
draw
Skattebo?
the line at body mutilation.
No way.
Draw the line
What
at
about
body.
it? What about an ear?
No, that's worse.
Okay, we take out
What is the least significant body part you're
5
willing
of
to
your
cut
teeth.
off? 5. Which 5?
2 dead center on
No,
the
because
bottom.
here's the thing. In like 40 years when I can't eat solid foods because I pulled my own teeth out, I'm going to regret that.
No, you're not, because you're going to say, an Arizona State got a
Cam
chip. They got a championship.
Skattebo.
That's what you're going to sound like that when you're 80 anyway. So what does it matter if you got teeth or not?
Oh, I'm going to be podcasting.
You're already married,
I'm going
dude.
to be podcasting.
You're already
with-
married.
And I would like to stay
You'll
married.
stay married if you don't have a couple teeth.
If I cut my foot off
For the love of the game, Erik.
I will be divorced most likely.
Well,
if I show up, hey babe, hey, where's your left foot? Sorry.
I mean, you got a prosthetic, dude. You're half robot at that point. Come on, man.
Let's see.
We love Cam Skattebo. I'm going to tell him that you wouldn't cut your left foot off the next time he's on
I
the
don't
show.
think he would cut his left foot off.
No, but he doesn't have to. We need him. We need his left foot.
We do need it. He does have a
He
way
needs
more
both
important
his
left
feet.
foot.
Okay, I'm Totri, not foot tree. Like, I'm good. As long as I keep my toes, we're A-okay on that.
Where do you think your toes are going? You're
They're
going to
still
keep
on
your
the foot.
toes?
They're still on the foot.
I'm going to cut your toes off and take just the
No,
foot.
no. You said you're cutting the foot off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm taking the toes
You're
with
not
me.
mutilating each toe. You're just taking the foot.
Are
The
you
foot has
dumb?
it. No, listen to me. The foot has the toes on it.
And it's gone.
Yes, but you're not individually like separating the toes, dog. You're just taking the foot.
But it doesn't matter. You're still losing your toes.
Gosh,
You're
I've had
still
enough of
losing your
you.
toes. I've had enough of you.
So Miles
Are you ready
Rouser.
to
Miles Rouser, honorable mention.
4 a.m. is when you're picking me up tomorrow?
Yeah, about that time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Miles Rouser, honorable mention. He's been phenomenal.
He's been
Another transfer.
really good.
Another transfer for Arizona State.
I think he led the team in tackles.
I think he did too.
Yeah,
he was
he-
top 10 in the conference, I believe, in total tackles.
Yeah, he's been very good. And I think somebody predicted, they did it in Spaces, they said it in our Discord, that Miles Rouser is going to make a game-changing play for us on Saturday to swing the momentum and to win us the game. And honestly, I see it.
Forced fumble.
I see it. Yeah. Punching something out like that. I feel like we haven't, like, he has 87 tackles this, and I know tackles alone are not the measurement of a good defensive player because you can get burned and tackle somebody. I get it. But 87 tackles is very good. Right.
very
The
good.
next closest was X, first team, all Big 12 with 75. Right. And 43 of his 87 were solo too. The thing with him is I haven't seen him force like turnovers. We haven't seen no interceptions, no forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries or anything like that. But he feels like the type of player who would.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe he's overdue for one this
He's due.
Saturday.
He's 100% due.
Yeah.
The thing that I appreciate about Miles Rouser's game the most this season for him to get this honorable mention nod is at the start of the season, it felt like he was a little bit he just wasn't under control, right? There were plays that he would make post play that would turn into late hits. They turn into penalties because you just lose your cool a little bit. Miles Rouser, in terms of being able to develop mentally as a player and living to fight another down and not, making that extra bonehead mistake that you don't need to make that's going to cost your team 10 yards, 15 yards. It's going to get you tossed for a half. Like, that progression in Miles Rouser's game has been probably the most impressive thing about his season to me, because all year long he's been a heat-seeking missile. He's been great in coverage. He's been great in run defense. But to have that mental development, I think, has been huge to watch so far.
Yeah, and that is something where if he can continue to play like this, when it comes into Saturday, it's up to everybody to not make those types of plays. I'm maybe looking at him to not make those types of plays, because if there's any time to tighten up, not get those types of penalties, these small plays on the margins, it's a championship game. Sharon says she remembers the spring game hit. That was a pretty big,
That
I'm
feels
here.
so long ago, but it also
8
feels
years
like
ago.
yesterday.
Yeah, it's all gone by really fast, just like this show has gone by really fast.
Wait,
Don't hate me.
before you do it, break boy. Fine, just go to, you know what, we'll get to it afterwards. You do what you got to
Yeah,
do.
we
Let's-
will do it around after this quick break. I think it's safe to say that downtown Phoenix is hopping around the holidays.
Popping.
And get ready to huddle up at Chase Field for some, have you ever heard of the sport? College football You ever heard of that?
I have heard of that.
Okay, well, get ready for some postseason action as the Rate Bowl kicks off December 26th at 3:30 p.m. Got family in town for the holidays? Bring them in. Looking for a little holiday vacation fun? Bring them in and join us for a football game in a Major League Baseball park, making one of the most unique and fun atmospheres in sports. It's the only bowl game featuring a matchup between the Big Ten and the Big 12, two of the toughest football conferences in the country, in case you didn't know already. Anthony Totri. Do we have a dream Rate Bowl matchup?
Between Big 12, Big 10? Because we're going gosh, I don't know. I don't have a dream one.
You don't have a dream
I don't
one?
have a dream one because we still got to figure out who's playing in the playoff.
That's true. Well, keep dreaming.
Do you
Make
have a
sure. No, I don't. Game tickets, premium experiences, and reserved parking are all available. Get yours now at ratebowl.com. I lost my voice.
Yeah,
there.
I was going to say, jeez, that's tough. That's tough. I got a question for you.
I hopefully have an answer.
Do you trust me?
Yeah.
Captain Redbeard, do you trust me?
I guess.
That's
like
fair.
that.
Well, look, if you do trust me, you could trust our friends over at Desert Financial Credit Union. Honestly, you could trust them more than you could trust me.
Way more.
They're the official retail banking partner
more.
of Arizona State University. Part of the reason you could trust them is because they've been doing it for more than 84 years. Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. Do you need financial solutions that make your life better?
Every single day.
I do too. Guys, you could look to Desert Financial for checkings and savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and so much more. Now is the time to show your ASU team spirit. Open a free checking account online and get $200 plus your choice of 3 Arizona State University Visa debit cards. Go to desertfinancial.com/ASU to get started.
We have a tweet from at 100-yard landlord. Heard of him? First team All Big 12, Xavier Alford. Says, I want to give a shout out to all the DBs along with my defense. I shared this accolade with them. They make my job easier. I would not be in this position if it wasn't for them. Love those guys. So you heard it here first. The entirety of ASU's defense made all first team Big 12.
Well, funny enough that you bring up X. These guys, right? 11 of them. How many can come back?
Oh.
Well, let's count. Jordyn Tyson.
Okay.
Xavier Alford.
Yep.
Sam Leavitt.
Yep.
Shimon Matire.
Yep.
CJ Fight.
Yep.
Keyshawn Elliott.
Yep.
Ben Coleman.
Well, is Keyshawn going to come back?
He can. That's what I'm saying. They can come back. They can come back.
Yeah. Keyshawn.
Ben Coleman.
Ben Coleman.
And Miles Rouser.
8 of 11.
8 of 11. The only ones that can't.
Cam Skattebo, Caleb McCullough,
and Lee Fantano. That's pretty good.
And there are a lot of players who did not get these accolades that can also return that were very instrumental parts to this team. Plus, as people mentioned, transfers to the transfer portal, a bunch of new signees, as well as we talked about signing day yesterday, Chris. I don't believe we're going to have anybody on the show. Maybe that's going to be something we do during the off season.
Or at least after the college football playoff and Big 12
that
stuff slows down.
Yeah.
Maybe when we get to our 12, potentially 24-hour stream, we can really get into the nitty-gritty of these signees, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe spend an hour on each signee.
Wait, live watching huddle tape?
Yeah.
There's an hour.
We can do it.
Check.
Can do it.
We're just planning it out right now already.
It's going to be, we're getting a therapist on that show. I already told Kyle I'm booking a therapist for an hour and we're going to do couples therapy for an hour.
Okay. That works. That's going to be an early one too. I think people are going to want to see that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
I think the therapist is going to side with me.
This is a great start.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were taking sides.
What do you think, Captain Redbeard? Who's the therapist side with? You have to pick.
I don't think the therapist is going to pick sides.
I don't even know.
All therapists pick sides.
What therapist are you seeing?
I'm not.
That makes sense.
Oh, man. Look, we are just a couple of days away from the Big 12 championship game between Arizona State and Iowa State. Kind of outside of the champion. What, buddy? What?
Former Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. This is according to Brett McMurphy. I'm losing my voice. Great timing to lose my voice. Is interviewing for the North Carolina coaching job.
Yeah, I don't care.
What?
I don't care. I mean, he's going to hate NIL so much. He's going to hate it. There's no way. I even if he gets a job, I don't think he's successful in college. College is a completely different beast than the NFL. I don't think he's gonna do that. Jacob, are you really a licensed therapist?
For real?
We'll
Jacob,
book you.
who's right? Me or Totri?
We'll book you. We'll book you to do it, man. Devil fan in the chat, are there rumors of Keyshawn Elliott leaving? No, there are not. Erik he was just asking.
I just think he's good enough to play in the NFL.
He's also, I think he has to come back for another year.
Is he?
I think he's that young. I think he's only a true sophomore. I don't think he's
I would
going
expect
to
him
the
to come
NFL.
back, yeah.
I expect him to come back.
Yeah.
I expect a lot of these guys to come back. Is he a junior?
He's a junior.
Look
Yeah,
at
he's a
the
junior.
Arizona State roster, because I don't know if they'll have him listed as a redshirt sophomore on ESPN versus what the Arizona State roster will have.
I think they usually have it right.
ESPN?
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes they're like a full year behind. Like they won't update. I believe he's a redshirt sophomore. No, he's a junior.
No, he's a junior.
Yeah,
he could go to the NFL.
Could go to the league.
He could go to the NFL. I think it's possible. We'll see though. He said, "No, that would be cool though." That's really funny.
Thanks, Jacob.
That's really
Appreciate you on that. That was a good one. But yes, obviously, outside of the Big 12 title game, people are looking to see how Arizona State can get into the college football playoff. That leads us to the rooting guide. If you're an Arizona State fan, these are the teams that you are rooting for to help Arizona State not only get into the college football playoff, but to also get a bye.
Yes.
So this is what you need. Obviously, you're rooting for Arizona State to beat Iowa State.
Shocker.
If you are not rooting for that and you want Arizona State to make the college football playoff, it's not going to happen. The Sun Devils do, in fact, need to win on Saturday to make the playoff. We've also got UNLV. You want UNLV over Boise State. That would mean UNLV would get the automatic bid. They would represent the Mountain West, but you'd also probably see Boise State in there as well. They just wouldn't get a bye. You're also rooting for Clemson. Clemson over SMU.
I can't root for Dabo.
Arizona State is ranked currently above Clemson in the college football playoff rankings. So if Arizona State were to win their conference, right, and SMU, which is ranked higher, would lose, and Boise State, which is ranked higher, would lose. If both of those things occurred, Arizona State would get the 3 seed. They would get the 3 seed in the college football playoff.
That's so stupid.
If one of those teams loses, then you're looking at Arizona State probably getting the 4 seed. If SMU and Boise State both win, then Arizona State gets the 12. And then they would obviously see whoever is sitting at that 5 spot, which could be Penn State, could be Ohio State, could be Georgia, could be Texas, could be Ohio State, could be a ton of teams. Sharon in the chat says Clemson will jump us. I guarantee it. I don't think so. I don't think they jump us. But that's just my 2 cents on it. But what do I know? You know,
Absolutely nothing.
You think?
Yeah.
I feel like I know some stuff.
Like what?
From time to time.
Name one thing that you know.
I know your middle name.
That's true. You do.
Isn't it Charles?
It is.
Yeah. I know his
Nailed
middle
it.
name too. Do you know his middle name?
No, I don't.
I know his middle name.
I know.
Wow, you're
I know he
fake.
sent it.
Fake friend.
I know he sent it. in-
Totri is a better friend.
It's Chandler.
Wow.
It's Chandler.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's honestly an underrated middle name.
It's a good middle name.
Like, I don't know anybody else with that middle name. So, you know my middle name? See how good of a friend you are.
Yeah. Just give me Matthew.
Nah, how did you? Oh, you.
No, what
you
do you mean?
dirtbag.
What do you mean? This is
You were on the DMs.
different
Yes, you
one.
were. Yes, you were. Can't
I
believe
know
it.
your original name.
Can't believe it.
I know your original name.
We don't need to do that here.
The name
we
that
don't.
you were
We don't.
born with.
I will walk off, and you will do the rest of the show by yourself.
Oh no! All 2 minutes.
Go ahead if you want to rip for it.
No, it's fine.
That's what I thought. Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Of course, we will be live tomorrow, Erik,
But not
we're
from
not going to
here.
be live from here.
No, we're gonna miss Studio K.
We are going to be in Dallas for the Big 12 title game. So thankfully, we have DLLS. We will be live from their studios tomorrow. We're going to be doing a ton of content for the next couple of days from Dallas. So make sure you follow the show at PHNX_Sun Devils. Make sure you're subscribed to PHNX Sports on YouTube, because a ton of that content is going to be on social, also going to be on the YouTube as well. We're going to do a pregame show for the Big 12 title game. That should go live about 9:30.
Yep.
Should take you straight into kickoff. And then, of course, we will be doing a Big 12 championship post-game show from DLLS, just like we all thought at the start of the season.
Yeah, be tuned in as far as time goes. We're going to be fluid as far as how long after the final whistle we will be. But of course, we will have a show celebrating, hopefully. But no matter what, we will be there. If you are a Sun Devil fan who is traveling out to Dallas, hit us up. on socials. Let us know you're there. Let us know what you're doing. You know, maybe we'll come by, say hi. If you're at the game, maybe we can come by, say hi. This is a crazy, crazy moment that none of us were expecting.
I know. I said it was going to happen.
Yeah, we were saying before the season, it was minimum Big 12
Big 12 championship or bust.
Minimum.
Come on. We all knew that's where we were headed.
Sharon says, can we get travel video updates in the Discord? Dallas says 4 a.m. pickup photo tomorrow in the Discord,
Discord's
please.
been popping.
Dude, that's what I was going to... So, yes. A, yes, of course. B, so many new diehards because of our $36 sale. But I want to shout out specifically Sharon and Short Bus, who paved the way for multiple other diehards to get in. That is insane. Yeah. Just a testament to the community that is being built. Just popping. In our Sun Devils Discord. It's nonstop at this point.
It's good stuff. And you could still sign up to become a diehard at gophnx.com/diehard. I know Res Devil, he's in there, hasn't figured out the Discord quite yet.
It's okay.
Res Devil Jr., he is also in there as well. So it's popping off. Okay, you can still become a diehard. That is going to do it for today's show. The last show from Phoenix before Arizona State kicks off for the Big 12 title game. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Like I said, if you enjoy the content, give the show a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Senor Spin Zone here at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You can follow the captain of this lovely vessel at K Coop Sports. We will see you guys on Friday live from Dallas. But in the meantime, go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.